Okay, good evening, everyone. Let's stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Oh, meeting order. Need to approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
Yes. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Abstain. 7. Public comment. We've got 3 on the list. If you are presenting, you get 5 minutes. So Carter Fondon.
So I'm Carter Fondon. I am a current parent of a student in the elementary school. I've gone back and forth a lot on what I want to say. First, I want to say that I do support Principal Stewart. My child moved to the Crocker School District in first grade. She attended a neighboring district in kindergarten. And from the moment we stepped into the school to register her, it was evident how much Principal Stewart and the staff and the teachers all cared about not only what they do, but about the students that they serve. The change in behavior in my child has been very positive in moving to Crocker School District, and we have experienced nothing but positive things in the school. The activities that we have witnessed Principal Stewart and the other teachers try to put on for the students is amazing. Just any number of things. She's constantly trying to find things to broaden their horizons and enrich their learning environment. Then we get to a magic show, an optional after-school event where parents would be in attendance, and I was the recipient of the first flyer that went out. I was the recipient of every piece of communication that came out thereafter. An optional after-school event where I get to choose what my child attends and sees, and it turned into something that put my child in danger through comments on Facebook that enraged the community and took over my rights as a parent to have my child do something with me in attendance, and I'm not okay with that. I understand that there was not active threats, but the fact that the school had to go into a school lockdown the very next day where all the students couldn't go outside, no one could come in or out, is wrong over someone saying something on Facebook, no matter how innocent it might have been. It got the result that that person wanted, which was community outreach. And not just from people in this community, there were so many people who had things to say that were just absolutely ugly about someone who will spend an hour of their time teaching students magic tricks in full view of the parents, where I get to answer any questions that my child has about that person's appearance or their whatever. I don't agree that that person continues to be on the school board. You don't stop being a parent when you're on the school board, but you are now representing every student in the school, not just your kids, but my kids and every other person's kids in there. There is no reason that the community at large Anyone who doesn't live in the community should have any say whatsoever that outweighs my rights as a parent to say what my kid can and cannot attend, especially for an optional after-school event where she is not required to do anything. I don't have much more to say other than that, but there is no reason for the level of vitriol at what turns out to be a very innocent person in this whole scheme of things. Principal Stewart applied for a grant, and that was it. She had no say in the matter whatsoever. Anything after that should have come from the school board as a whole, that, hey, we learned this information about this person, and here it is, parents, you decide what to do next. Instead, it turned into something that put my kid in danger, and I don't appreciate that. And that's all I have to say.
Patrick Fry. And he's listening. So good evening. My name is Patrick Fry. I'm a father of 2 students here at Crocker. Many of you have talked to them. Many of you have seen me before. I'm not here to take up much of your time. I would like to address the issue of asking Mr. Medlin to resign as a school board member effective immediately. Per Title VII of the Civil Rights Act, transgender individuals are recognized as a protected class under federal law. When you take your position on the school board, you take an oath of office in pursuant to Chapter 7, Section 11 of the Constitution of Missouri. In this oath, you affirm that you would support the Constitution of the United States and of the state. Per School Board Policy AC, prohibition against illegal discrimination, harassment, and retaliation, the board prohibits its members from aiding, abetting, inciting, compelling, or coercing illegal discrimination, harassment, or retaliatory actions. I bring these law-abiding documents to your attention because of an incident that everybody is very well aware of. Everybody's seen everything that's gone down on Facebook. When you took that oath, you swore to protect and create a safe environment for all students, employees, and visitors of the school district, to include transgender individuals. Your posting online and the comments that were made has shown that you're not willing to provide that protected status for those individuals protected by federal law. Simply put, you have a civil rights violation on your hands because you were discriminating against an individual because of their transgender status. You have transgender students in the school district that now can definitively say that their school board does not unanimously support them as a student without bias. I don't know if you were aware of this, but you were a Crocker RT school district board member always, but you conduct yourself as so. I know you're also a parent. I realize that. But your opinions and what you post on social media to be perceived as being posted by the school board, even if that's not your intention. The moment you posted your personal opinions online, you also shared that you have a negative bias towards transgender individuals. Another effect from your posting was the school was on lockdown. All the students had to go through that because of the calls made to the school. How can you serve as a district school board member fairly to every student when you don't provide inclusion to all of them by the situation you started? You are not upholding the oath you took. Once again, I'm asking you as a parent and educator for you to resign from your position as a school board member from the Crocker Area School District. Thank you all for your time. Thank you. Kendra Shoemaker.
Good evening, Crocker community. I'd like to read this email that I sent to some of the board members on September 23rd, 2025 to make it known to the public. First, I would like to introduce myself, as most of you do not know me personally. My name is Kendra Shoemaker, and I graduated from Dixon High School. I married Crocker alumni Seth Shoemaker in 2021 when he was in the military. When he got out of the Army, we moved back to Crocker, where his parents had an extra house for us. I started substitute teaching in Crocker of 2023. When we found a house to buy, it happened to be in the Dixon School District, and I was disappointed that our almost 2-year-old son would go to Dixon instead of Crocker when he was old enough. I wanted our son Bo to go to school in Crocker after seeing how the school was run, specifically the elementary school led by Miss Jessica Stewart. So when the position opened up to become a full-time member at CHS, I was thrilled when I got the job, knowing that my son would be able to be educated at Crocker Elementary. I have and will always be a proud Dixon graduate, but I've been more proud to say that I now wear blue. I had an absolute blast learning while substitute teaching. Working at Crocker High School full-time has been the best few months. I have some amazing new friends, mentors, and bosses. Now I would like to address a concern and experience that I have with Mr. J. Medlin. After seeing the post made to Facebook and hearing what has been said to Ms. Stewart, I was absolutely floored. I received 7 phone calls today at the high school office asking about the magicians. I even got hollered at on the phone 2 times out of the 7. I did not know any information on the topic, and as stated so, I do not have much involvement with the LEAP program. However, who I am as a person, and I will stand by this, is that no matter what or who, I will stand up for what I know is right, and East Church was not treated fairly today. I was very upset knowing that an amazing educator and administrator have been treated so poorly. Tonight, on September 23rd, 2025, I happened to be meeting my mom at dinner at Ocean Buffet in St. Robert. When I was in the parking lot waiting for my mom, Mr. Miller and his family pulled into the lot near me. I waved and said hello. When he got out of his car, I said, "May I speak to you for a minute?" This is when the following conversation occurred. Warning, explicit verbiage. Me. I was a little upset about the way Jessica was treated today. I also received phone calls and got hollered at on the phone. BJ, in a raised voice, I don't give an F how she was treated. I will die on this mother effing hill, Kendra, that I will not allow that thing in my school. Me, I felt that as a member of the board, you should have just called her office and said shut it down and had her back on the media. She was just coming here to do a magic show. BJ, she makes $100,000 a year to run that school and she effing sucks at it. Me, well, I don't make $100K a year to run a building, and I got phone calls also because of what you posted on Facebook. And shame on you for doing this to her, causing her husband to come and get her from work because about how she was threatened. BJ, your job is to answer the phone and do as you're told, and if you don't like it, then quit your effing job. Me, BJ, don't speak to me that way and don't point your finger at me. At this moment, my first tear fell because I cry when I get angry. BJ, don't be boo-hooing to me playing victim like Stuart does. Me, I'm not boo-hooing. I have tears because I'm pissed about how horrible she was treated today and will always be the person to stand up for what's right. BJ, so will I. That's why I'm not allowing this thing in my school near my kids. He walked away and the conversation ended. I called my husband crying because of the way Mr. Medlin spoke to me, that a member of the school board did not have the human decency to handle this internally. That he had a whole community calling and threatening her. I was not proud at all to be a Crocker staff member at all. I don't have a huge role at the school, but working in the office, I work for basically health insurance and my car payment. At this moment, it was not worth it at all. Nobody should have to go through that. Sorry. I truly love my job and the people I work for and alongside of. But I'm most thankful that my son will get a Crocker education. After calming down, I called my sister, the district nurse, asking advice on how to handle this. She advised me to contact Ms. Burton directly in writing, and I sent a text message, along with informing the rest of you all as you received this email. I admit that there's a time and place for this conversation, and I probably should have waited until today. But like I stated above, I will always stand for what is right. How BJ spoke to me this evening and how he treated Ms. Stewart was absolutely appalling and unacceptable behavior. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. So you know.
All right, got the consent agenda in front of you, got the minutes for September 2nd and September 25th. Schedule bills. Any question on bills? Financial report.
You can see how the assets we are pretty good, just like we were last month. We received a little bit more on our basic, and we're about 4% up. Than last month, and our fee is still about 13% down. The classroom cost is also 24% down. But our transportation is up for this next month. But
Approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion. Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? All right, discussion. You got this, Hoops?
She submitted her monthly data report in there. She had a lot of upcoming events. Picture day we had Monday. And they had a lot of the preschool and kindergarten field trip they had on Friday. Everything went good on that. You can read through the evaluations she started, and the things that she's working on, collaboration, critical thinking, and the content knowledge that she's looking for this year. The attendance right now is running pretty much the same, around 96% down there. I just think that this is been recorded. Also the literacy plan, we thought that it got attached to August, but it didn't, so it just needs 43. So.
Yeah. Ms. Holland?
Hello. Okay. So you have the one for the high school, right? Sorry. Got me standing. Not used to just sitting down. Okay, so we have our attendance report. It's in one of the attachments on the high school folder. So you can see that what our attendance audit looks like. Everything's in the 90s, 92%, 97%. So, life looks good for the month, September, for the month of September. If you could look at that, any questions about attendance? We have started our attendance recovery. We've sent the letters and have, in fact, we had a phone call today about, a parent asking about it. So we're making that available for families now. And, there was some sort of a misunderstanding about, this is required. I mean, it's kind of like tutoring. It's an extra service that we offer. So, in the handbook, it does say something about, not earning credit if they don't have the attendance, which, we would before that would happen, there would have to be an appeal and all of that. But I explained to our community member that it is an extra service, just like tutoring, where we can't force them to attend. But this is something that we're offering students now who are on our student information system who are marked chronically absent. That means about 10% of they've been gone at least 10% of the time. Behavior report. As you can see, the file is also in the folder for behavior report, and I'll talk a little bit more about it whenever I've got my wins at the bottom. Also, and I've got this from Facebook. Our middle school, middle school is a little bit more like sort of self-contained because they're just rotating in those classes. So there's really a set time for them to be able to do ISL. And all of our students have taken diagnostics at the beginning of the year. And what ISL does is it will recommend specific skills that students are missing. So middle school are able to really, have those specific time that they get to do it. But high school is a little bit different because some of them may not have a math class or some of them may not have an ELA class. So I had it, we posted it on social media and we have it open so our students can take advantage of it even at home. I've got it as early as I could open it and as late as I could open it. So that's just a data that we look at it pretty much in our private PLC all the time, and that's just kind of like the data. Our middle school are really showing some gains there. Our battle of the classes is really going strong. You know, sometimes when it's announced in the hallway, you hear the kids cheering that their class have won. So it's going really well. We have different prizes that we give the classes. All juniors have completed their ASVAB and received their scores. Our counseling department hosted our first lunch and learn. We will be conducting these all throughout the year. In fact, today is Mrs. Medlin and Mrs. Carlton took a group of kiddos to a place to visit for careers, and there was another one last week. They went to Jeff City. Our curriculum work is, going strong. On Fridays, that's what we've been really focusing our time on is developing that curriculum. We've also embedded, Miss Burton mentioned about the literacy plan. We're being very intentional with ensuring that literacy is a component that's added in the daily activities of the lessons that are in the classroom. Our first staff potluck was well participated. We had a great turnout. First round of formative evaluation was conducted for the month of October. We've got it finished. We are working on. So as a building, we have our staff pick 3 indicators. So there's about 36 teacher indicators, for the state of Missouri that our teachers are supposed to be performing. So as a building, we have picked 3 that we're going to work on as a building, and each staff member, each teacher have picked 3 on their own, so a total of 6. So that is embedded in their growth plan, which is tied to, we're looking at data. We're going to look at Excel, we're going to look at math, we're going to look at EOC and see, okay, this is what our goal is. We're going to start with, hey, 50% of our students are going to be, we're going to move, they have different numbers. They have to pick what, and before that's attached to their growth plan. 50%, from below basic, we're going to move them to basic. So we're creating those measurable goals that we're hoping to increase those numbers. I feel like our students are rising to expectations, as reflected in our recent behavior data. We had our first building leadership team meeting Friday, not first, but for the month of September, we had it last Friday. And one of the highlights of the conversation that we discussed was, we talked about there's definitely a downward trend in behavior. So we're seeing those. And as we were talking about, as the team is, talking about, hey, what's going on. So kudos to our staff. There's a lot of being proactive, things that are being proactively done in the classroom to ensure that, to curb those misbehaviors. And the battle of classes, I feel like it's helping a little bit. So we've got different categories we've added to it than what we have planned in the beginning. And the public recognition for students are very encouraging. And, we're balancing that with accountability. So things are going well. Any questions?
Did 100% of our juniors complete their ASVAB?
I will get that data and I will let you know for sure. But they were it may not be all of them, but they have good. We had it done September 20. No, not September 28. August 28. We wanted it done early so we could get it out of the way. But I will get that number.
Thank you.
I do like your monthly newsletter.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Holland. Ms. Burton.
So we have our first budget amendment, number 1. If you look through some of the financials, we had our first payroll come out in September. So after doing that, we can see where our deductions and everything comes through. Most of the salary categories should be around 8%. Some were over, some were under. So just by looking through, you can see kind of the adjustments there. After the first salaries, you can kind of see that we need to do some adjustments. So that's what I went through and did. You can see that on the drive where I kind of made just little tweaks on a lot of the budget there. But one thing I did too was we got that 22.5 for the grant that last that came in. So we did up the revenue. So it's right at 8 million this time. We were right at like 7.9. So that's part of that budget adjustment as well. I want to thank the Jake Starks excavating for adding the new softball parking lot. That's about 45 or 50 additional parking spots, and it has been used every time they've had a meeting. So it's been really great. We've gotten tons of compliments. So it'll be a great addition. The bus route approval. So we were kind of hesitant about only doing 5 routes this year, but it has been like working out really great. So we're going to continue that. We have to get that approved by the end of the month. So that's in there. We had our audit. It went super, I think. We'll have our first, we'll have it at the end of the month, but he said everything looked good. There was a couple things with the reconciliations that he's still going to work on, and he's going to come back and work with Mandy on that, but everything else worked out really good. Also, you will see the approval for the MOU with the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office. We did this with the city of Crocker as well, so this is just something that it'll be our agreement with them that if we need a partner, they will be our partner, and vice versa. And that will be Stephanie. So that's in there for us to sign, and then the staff and dates are in there as well. So.
Okay, any questions for Ms. Burton? All right. There's nothing to go into executive session.
I make a motion.
Motion by
I'll second.
Pierce,
Yes.
Mendez,
Yes.
Medlin,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Keenan,
Yes.
me, yes. We are enclosed, 5:26.